So yes, hi and hello, welcome back to our channel Vagai Academy of Mathematics, and this one is a new playlist where you can find video lessons for CBSE Class 7 Applied Mathematics. So the last session we have started with the new topic, which is calendars, and there we had the chapter 1. There we saw some basics about calendars. So that's how we started. So if you remember what are all the things we have seen in the last session, I mean in the chapter 1, we saw about odd days there. Yes, right? So what do you mean by odd days? Odd days is going to be the number of days which is left over after forming some possible, maximum possible number of weeks with the given number of days. That is what we call it as odd days, and odd days is going to be the very basic, very fundamental thing that we need to understand very carefully whenever we start to learn about calendars, and that's what we had in chapter 1. And also we saw few basic problems. We also solved some 2 to 3 questions there itself. So if you have missed that video, kindly see that video. You will be coming to know about what is odd days, and this session is going to be a continuation of the previous session. Okay, so here this one is going to be the chapter 2 of calendars, and if you see what we are going to discuss here, what we are going to see here in this chapter, so this session we have another new concept, something called leap year and ordinary year, right? Okay, so that is what we are going to see here in today's session. Yes, let's just get into the topic. And yes, my question before we enter into the session, my basic question, my first question: what do you mean by leap year and what do you mean by ordinary year? Say, okay, now we are in the year 2020, right? Yes, now this year is 2020 and this year happens to be a leap year. And how do you identify that whether a given year is a leap year or not? It's very simple. In a leap year, you will come to find an extra date in February, in the month of February, right? That's how we identify a leap year, right? So in all the other remaining years, I mean in an ordinary year, you will have the month of February with 28 dates only, correct? 28 days only. But when it comes to a leap year, you will find extra one day as 29th, Feb 29th. So when you come to identify one extra one day, Feb 29, that year is what will become a leap year. Okay, fine. Yes, this is what is a leap year and ordinary year, a basic explanation. So yes, let's come discuss in detail. So what do you mean by an ordinary year, or what do you mean by a non-leap year? Let's start with this. So an ordinary year is a year where you will have a total of 365 days, right? Okay, yes, you will have 365 days, and this year you will be having February with only 28 days. Such a year is what you have it to be an ordinary year or a non-leap year. But when it comes to a leap year, what about a leap year? A leap year you will have extra one day, so you will be having a total of 366 days in a leap year. And here is where you will find that extra one day in the calendar with that extra one day as Feb 29, a very special date, right? Yes. So do you know anyone, or you have any friends whose birthday is coming to be Feb 29? So they will be celebrating, they will be able to celebrate their exact birthday only in once in 4 years only, right? Because this leap year comes in general, this leap year comes once in 4 years only. So if you find any of your friends whose birthday is Feb 29, the interesting thing is they will be having their birthday maybe in this year, and they will have their next birthday only after 4 years, maybe in the year 2024. Yes, right? That's going to be a very interesting information. Go search whether you have such friends with their birthday on Feb 29. Yes, anyways, let's continue our concept. Yes, my next question: how do you identify a leap year? Or is there any special math calculations for you to identify, or for you to conclude that whether a given year is a leap year or an ordinary year? That's our next question. So how come you find it? For example, this year, as we started, this year 2020 is a leap year, and if you want to verify it, you can go check this year's calendar. You will find Feb 29, right? So that means you can very well confirm that this year is a leap year. Fine, okay. And what was the leap year which came previous to this year? Can you answer this question? Which was the leap year that came exactly previous? I mean previous to this 2020. Your answer would be 2016, right? Yes, if you have your 2016 calendar, or you can even browse it to your through your mobile itself, you can just go verify and go just reverse direction, go backward and just see 2016's yearly calendar. Again, there again you will find Feb 29. That means 2016 was the previous leap year before this 2020. And what about the year which is still before 2016? That year would be 2012. So if you come to see this calculation, you will find this leap year is going to appear for every 4 years. I mean, like, if this year is a leap year, you will find the next leap year after 4 years. So in that way, this 2020 is a leap year. So after 4 years, that means 2020 plus 4 would be 2024. That 2024 would be again the next leap year, and after that 2028. This way your leap years will be going on. So here is my strong question. So then how come I can identify whether a given year is leap year or not? Is there any special math calculations? Yes, we do have special calculations. With that is what we are going to verify here. Few of the years which are listed here, whether the given years are leap year or ordinary year. That's what we are going to do next. Yes, come, let's proceed. Let's try to learn the procedure how to identify whether a given year is leap year or not. And that is what we are going to do here now. Watch it carefully how it is done. We have few math calculations involving here. Okay. Yes, fine. And again, the next thing is, again, there are going to be two categories here. Let me reveal it later why you have two categories of this years listed here. There are two categories. I will reveal the reason later. First, come to know the calculation trick or the procedure to identify the leap year and ordinary year. Then we will go into the categories. I will explain it. Okay, fine. Yes, let's start. So here, let's come to this first column. So take the first year, 1964. So given this year 1964, was it a leap year or an ordinary year? So how can you check it? It's very simple. Make our calculation very simple. Okay, just go get our year 1964 and go see the last two places, the last two digits of your year. So I see here 64. I see the number 64 here. Is it or not? So just take the last two digits. I mean the last two places. We have 64 here. Just take that 64 and try to divide it by 4. That's what we have to do, right? Yes, let me just note it here. So what you have to do is you have to divide it by the number 4. Yes, yeah, fine. So just try to divide it by 4 and check whether your number, I mean here in this case 64, is this 64 divisible by 4 or not? That is what you have to check. Yes, is 64 divisible by 4? Can you check it? Yes, I can go like 64 divided by 4. Where is my space? Yes, of course, I have some space here, right? Yes, so 64. I will take this space to verify it. I am dividing by 4. So 4 ones are 4. I have balance 2. Let me drop this 4. And I have 4 6 are 24. Yes, perfect. My remainder is 0. That means 64 is perfectly divisible by 4. In that case, this 1964 is going to be a leap year. Okay, let me tick it. Okay, just to notify that our given year is a leap year, I will just make a tick mark. And if it is not a leap year, I mean if it is an ordinary year, let me make a cross. Okay, yes, likewise we'll just try to identify it. I'll just for an identity, I'll make it like this. I will tick here for a leap year, and if it is an ordinary year, I'll make a cross. Fine. Yes, yeah, right. Okay, come to the next one. 1828. Let's do the same thing. See your year given 1828, and what we should do, we should again take the last two digits. That's it. Okay, take the last two places of your year, and what is that we have to do? Again, check the same thing. See this 28 whether it is divisible by 4 or not. It's very simple, right? I can very easily say 4 7s are 28. If you are very much clear with 4 tables, it's going to be a very easy task. So 4 7s are 28. That itself will tell that yes, 28 is divisible by 4, and in that case again my year 1828 is divisible by 4. I mean like this is a leap year. We can confirm that our year 1828 is again a leap year. Okay, fine. Yes. Come to the next one. 1642. We have the year 1642. So again the last two places I have 42. Check whether this 42 is divisible by 4 or not. Is 42 divisible by 4? No, right? because you can go up to 4 tenths or 40, but 4 11ths you would get 44, and in that case this 42 is not perfectly divisible by 4, and so this year 1642 is not a leap year, this is an ordinary year. So let me make a cross here. Fine, yes, yeah, yes, I think you are able to catch it. Next, 2008 we have, and as usual, go see the last two places. I have 08. 08 is simply like 8, is it or not, right? So 8, check whether 8 is divisible by 4. It's very easy to say 4 2s are 8, and that means 2008 is perfectly divisible by 4, and so I can make a tick, making that this 2008 is once again a leap year, right? Yeah, fine. Next, we have 1986, and that means our last two places we have 86. Is 86 divisible by 4? Is it divisible by 4? We can go up to 4 20s are 80, yes. Go once more. 4 21s are, you would get 84, right? Yes, 4 21s are 84, but 4 22s would give you 88, and again we observe that 86 is not divisible, and in that case 1986 is not a leap year, it is an ordinary year. Yes, last one we have 1510, and as usual go for the last two places. 10, sure, 10 is not divisible by 4 because 4 2s are 8, 4 3s will become 12, so in that case 10 is not divisible, and so 1510 is once again not a leap year, it is an ordinary year. Yes, right? So I hope now you are thorough with how the procedure, the method, how we are checking whether a given year is leap year or not, right? Yes, just go see your year, go pick the last two places and try to divide that last two places, that number, by 4. See whether it is divisible by 4 or not. This is all you do. Fine, yes. And here at this moment you will have some doubt. Why don't you divide this entire number by 4? Because mainly many of you may have this doubt. Instead of taking this entire number 1964, why should I take only the last two places? You may have that doubt, but it is very simple to understand. Why? Because we are dividing by the number by 4. Is it or not? So we are taking our number and we are trying to divide it by 4. What's the special property of 4? See, in order to test whether a number is divisible by 4 or not, it is very much enough if we take last two places alone, this last two places, I mean the last two digits alone, just checking whether it is divisible by 4 or not. That's it, okay? So you need not take that entire number and then check whether it is divisible by 4 or not. It is enough if you take the last two places, and that is what we are doing so far, okay? Yes, so I hope you are clear with the procedure now. And here again the next question you will have, okay? So we have this category, I mean this first column, how we verified this, okay? Now come to the second column, okay? Second column, you can see these years numbers. See here, how are these numbers here? Now these numbers, you have all these ending with double zeros. Do you just observe it? Can you see this? Yes, okay, fine. So here it is not like that. You had some different numbers here, okay? Instead of 0 zeros ending with 0 zeros, you had non-zero zeros numbers. That is how you had numbers, I mean the year numbers here in this first column. Whereas if you come to see the second column, see the numbers here, all these years are listed with, they are ending with double zeros. So when you are given a year which is going to end with double zeros like this, then at that time what you should do to check whether the given year is a leap year or not, that we are going to do now, okay? Yes, ready? Fine. Yes, now we'll come to the next category, I mean the years which are going to end with 0 zeros. Here in the first column we had all the years that are going to end without the 0 zeros. But what if you are given a year which is going to end with double zero? Shall you see that? Yes. So now take this first year, 2000, exactly 2000 it is. So if you see the last two places, it is very clear, it is ending with double zeros. So what should I do now? Make it very simple. If you see that your year is ending with double zero, then just forget about this last two zeros. And what else you see there? You have the number 20 now, is it or not? Now all you need to do is just check whether this 20 is divisible by year 4 or not. This is all you need to check. I hope the point is clear to you. If your year is not ending with double zeros, then just go see the last two places itself. Pick that last two places, check it whether it is divisible by 4. But instead, if you are getting a year which is going to end with double zeros, then leave off those double zeros. Just leave off, just strike out those two double zeros. I mean the double zeros, those two zeros, and go see what else you have there. You have the number 20 here, is it or not? Now check the 20, whether the 20 is divisible by 4 or not. Yes, see here 20. Yes, of course 20 is divisible by 4. Is it or not? 4 5s are 20, right? So in that case, this 20 is divisible by 4, and so this year 2000 is a leap year. This is how you need to check when you are given a year which is ending with double zeros. Okay, all right. Yeah, coming to the next one. Here we have 1900 or else 1900. Again, what happens? Here our year is ending with double zeros. So what should be done? Just go forget about this last two zeros and see what else you have here. Here you have the number 19. Just go check whether 19 is divisible by 4 or not. Is 19 divisible by 4? No, right? Yes. Because 4 4s are you have 16, but 4 5s are becomes 20. In that case, 19 is sure not divisible by 4. So this 1900 is again an ordinary year, right? Okay, it is not going to be a leap year, it is an ordinary year. So let me make a cross here. Fine. Yes. So don't just do that last two places alone. Okay. Yes, always it won't work. And just see that when your last two places are without zero zeros, you have to check the last two places. But what happens if you have the last two places to be 0 and 0? Then all you need to do is just cross off, just eliminate those two zeros and see the remaining value. 19. Just go check that 19 here. That's what you need to check. Check 19 whether it is divisible by 4. No, it is not divisible. In that case, it is not a leap year. It is an ordinary year. Right? Fine. Okay. Next 1700. Do the same. Cross off. 17. Check whether 17 is divisible by 4. It is not divisible. So it is again an ordinary year. Next 1600 I have. So forget about this last two zeros. You see the number 16 now. Is 16 divisible by 4? Yes, very well. 4 4s are 16. So in that case, 1600 is surely a leap year. Okay. Yes. Next, I have the number 800, the year 800. So the same thing happens. Cross off these two zeros. You see the number 8 here. So what about 8? 8 is sure divisible by 4. Is it or not? Why? Because 4 2s are 8. So in that case, this 800 is also a leap year. Next, I have 1000. What about 1000? 1000, you can eliminate the last two zeros. You just see the number 10 here. 10. Is 10 divisible by 4? No. In that case, 1000 is sure an ordinary year. Okay. Yes. I hope now you are clear with how to conclude whether a given year is whether a leap year or an ordinary year. Okay. Yes. This is how you have to process it. This is the procedure how to do that. Okay. Yes. Fine. So, and also I can just term it, or I can just name these two categories of years to be, first of all, coming to these years. Okay, this years, the years which are going to end with 0 zeros, you can name it as century years. Okay, what do you mean by century? Century is nothing but you have hundreds. That's what you call it to be century, right? The word century means, it means 100. Century, centum, that represents 100, right? So in that case, century year. What do you mean by century year? The years that are divisible by 100, they are called century years. Okay. Now see, all these years, they are going to end with double zeros. Of course, if you see these years, they are going to end with triple zeros. But no matter, they are also century years. No doubt in that. Is it or not? So years that are precisely going to end with double zeros, you call them to be century years. So when you are given a century year alone, what you should test? Forget about the last two zeros and check for the previous, I mean the remaining part, whether that remaining part is divisible by 4 or not. That will decide whether your year is leap year or not. And if it is a non-century year, what do you mean by non-century year? I mean all the years which are not going to be century years, they are going to be non-century years. For a non-century year, what you should do? So here you are supposed to do your calculation like take the last two places and then try to divide it by 4, and that will tell whether your year is a leap year or an ordinary year. That's it. Okay, fine. Yes, this is all you have to remember. And what next we are going to do is we are going to calculate this number of odd days for this leap year and ordinary year, and for also a century at a stretch. This is what we are going to do next. Okay, yes, yeah, let's go. Next part we are going to see is what is going to be even more important, because using these concepts are what we are going to solve problems in the upcoming sections. That's why. So yes, we continue. So we have seen so far, like ordinary year you will have 365 days, and in a leap year you would get 366 days. And the next part is, now we are going to calculate the number of odd days for an ordinary year and a leap year, right? Yes, let's do that. And now before doing that, let's try to see for 365 days in an ordinary year, how many complete weeks we would be able to form, right? Yes. So if you try to do so, you would get 365 days. I mean, in an ordinary year, you would completely get 52 weeks and 1 extra day. Yes, fine. So this is how an ordinary year would be constructed. And from this itself, you can very well easily say that for an ordinary year, you will have number of odd days to be this extra 1 day. So number of odd days is 1, very clear, right? Yes. Same way, coming to the leap year. Okay, here you have 366 days. For a leap year, you will be again able to form 52 weeks, complete weeks, and along with 2 extra days. Okay, so 2 days. So in that case, you would have the number of odd days for a leap year to be equal to this 2 extra days. So number of odd days will be equal to 2 days. Okay, so these 2 points are very much important for you to remember. So let me just highlight them. So for an ordinary year, the number of odd days is going to be 1 day, and for a leap year, the number of odd days is going to be 2 days. This is what you have to strongly remember. And yes, with this learned concept, let's try to continue here, and we will now try to calculate the number of odd days for each of the 100 years. Let's try to do this interesting calculation, because this is also going to be useful for our future calculations. That's why. Yes, let's start. So I'm going to take for 100 years, every 100 years, right, from year number 1 to year 100, then here 101 to 200, 201 to 300, 301 to 400. So I'm just going to divide the years to 100 years. I mean, like the first century, second century. Likewise, I'm just going to divide these years into 100 years, and I'm just going to calculate the number of odd days for each of these 100 years. Let's try to do that. What happens? Yes, fine. Okay, take this first 100 years, I mean year 1 to year 100. For that, first basic thing what we have to do is, we have to first of all see how many of these 100 years are leap years and how many of them are going to be ordinary years. The calculation works very simple, because see here we have 100 years, correct? Just divide this 100 by 4. 100 by 4, you can easily tell the answer to be 25. Yes, accepted. That is okay. So that means we can guess that there will be 25 leap years. Can I do that? Because I have 100 years, and for every once in 4 years we would get a leap year. That is how we saw the calculation, right? Yes. So in that case, I can divide this 100 itself by 4. So 100 by 4 you would get 25. So I can confirm that there are 25 leap years. Can I do that? Is that possible? There only we should be very careful, that because for 1 to 100 you will have 100 by 4 to be equal to 25. That is okay, but you should be very careful that the last number 100, I mean the year number 100, is not a leap year, it is an ordinary year. Is it or not? Yes. Why? Because see, this 100 is a century year. Just now we discussed, right? If a given year is a century year, that we are supposed to do what? We have to see only the first place, right? I mean, we have to eliminate the last 2 zeros, and we should see what else is remaining there. So you have the number 1. Is 1 divisible by 4? No. In that case, this year number 100 is not a leap year. It is an ordinary year, right? Yes. So in that case, you will not have 25 leap years. You will have a set of only 24 leap years. Is the point clear? So in this first 100 years, you would get only 24 leap years, and all the other 76 years are going to be ordinary years. No doubt in that. So 24 leap years and 76 ordinary years, right? This is how you will have. And now let's try to do the calculation. So for each leap year, you have 2 odd days, because for each leap year you have 2 odd days, and plus continue this, and 76 ordinary years. For each ordinary year you have only 1 odd day, right? Let's do this. So when you do so, you would get how much here? So I think you would get 24 times of 2 will be 48 and 76 times 1 will be 76. So 48 plus 76 would give you 124. Correct? So it would be 124. So let's try to use the space like this. Okay, let me continue here itself. 124 days. Okay, you got 124 days, but again reconvert it. When you have 124 days, using those days, how many odd days you will have? That is what you have to think. Okay, so for 124 days, how many odd days you will be having? Shall we do the calculation? So we'll try to see whether we have enough space anywhere. So we have some space here. I think doing this calculation, this space is enough. So 124 days, I need to check how many odd days are there. For which what we do? We have to divide it by 7. That's what we do, right? So 7 ones are 7. We have remaining 54. And 7 sevens are 49. We have remaining to be 5. So that means for 124 days you have got, see the remainder, you have 5. So 5 odd days are there. So let's fill it to be 5 odd days. So let me just write it to be 5 odd days. Okay, that is fine. So let's repeat the same thing for the other each 100 years also. Okay, yes. So continue. 101 to 200. I mean the next 100 years. So we have completed 1 to 100. Now continue 101 to 200. So here again the same story. We have to repeat the same story. So here again you would get the same 24 leap years and other 76 ordinary years. Correct? Because here also the same thing happens. The year number 200 will not be a leap year, it is an ordinary year. Okay, you have to remember that properly, carefully. Okay, so in that case, once again you would get the same calculation, you would go do the same calculation and you would get the same 5 odd days for the next set of 100 years also. And come again 201 to 300. Here what happens? Here again you have to repeat the same story again, 24 leap years and 76 ordinary years. So once again here also you would be ending up with 5 odd days. Okay, clear? Then now come to this next set of 100 years. I mean like 301 to 400. What happens to this set of 100 years? Here we have to see how many leap years and how many ordinary years are there, right? So can you think of here what happens? So here also you would have 100 years, but this time we should be very clear. This year number 400 is a leap year. So in that case, here what happens? You will have all those 25 years to be leap years and the other 75 years are going to be ordinary years. Okay, this is quite different from the first 3 because here and all you had 24 leap years and 76 ordinary years, the same thing. But here what happened? For the next set of 100 years, I mean like 301 to 400, you have 25 leap years and 75 ordinary years. So in this case what happens is, you will have 1 year to be 2 days to be extra and 1 days to be less than here. So in that case overall I will have 6 odd days. Is it or not? Yes. Why? Because I'll just make you understand it very clearly. For this set of things you had 5 odd days. Let me not repeat the same calculation. Don't do the entire calculation. It's going to be quite easy for you to understand. Here I have 25 leap years and 75 ordinary years. That's it, right? So that means 2 days will be extra here and 1 day will be reduced here. So plus 2 and minus 1. Overall my increase will be plus 1. And that plus 1 is what I have affected here as 6 odd days. That's it. Okay. So now the point is very clear. For the first 100 years you have 5 odd days. Next 100 years 5 odd days. Next 100 years again 5 odd days. But the next one, I mean 301 to 400, you have 6 odd days. And now let's try to calculate the total number of odd days for all the 400 years. I mean like from year number 1 to 400. Let's see what happens. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 26. What is 5, 5, 5, 26? It would give you 21. Is it or not? So 21 odd days you have got. And again, this 21 odd days when you reconvert, 21 days when you just reconvert it, you would get how many odd days you have for 21 days? You can exactly form 3 weeks and that means you are left with 0 odd days. That's the point. Fine. Yes. So again, the next other strong thing you have to remember is from year 1 to year 400. That means for 400 years, the number of odd days is going to be 0 odd days. That's the next point. Okay. So for 400 years, okay, that also I'll just write here. For 400 years, you will have 0 odd days. 0 odd days. This is once again another strong point you have to remember. And not only for this 400 years, for every 400 years, you will be always having 0 odd days only. This is a very strong concept in calendars you have to remember, okay? And this is what they would say, that your calendar repeats for every 400 years. This is a very strong basic thing you have to remember, okay? The calendar repeats for every 400 years. That is, now if you are in some day today, the day which you are going to get exactly 400 years after would be the same day of what you have today. Or again, what day you are now, the day which you are going to travel before, I mean like you are going to past, okay? The past, if you are going to travel 400 years before, that day you would again land with the same day what you are sitting here, okay? That's what they would say. The calendar would repeat for every 400 years, and the reason is this is going to be the theoretical explanation, okay? Fine, I hope you are able to understand this. So this part you are clearly learning other three things. What are the other three things? For an ordinary year, the number of odd days is going to be 1, and for a leap year, the number of odd days is going to be 2. And the next thing is, these are also some subsequent things you are coming to learn here. For the first 100 years, you have 5 odd days. Next 100 years, I mean the second 100 years, 101 to 200, 5 odd days. 201 to 300, 5 odd days. But 301 to 400, you have got 6 odd days, and that will make together to be 400 years. You have 0 odd days. And the calendar is going to repeat for every 400 years, okay? So these are very strong points you have to remember. So that's what I plan to given here in this chapter, okay? So this chapter 2, we had a quite long discussion here. We saw many points here. So we started with leap year and ordinary year, how to identify a leap year and ordinary year, and next we tried to calculate the number of odd days for leap year, ordinary year, and for each century. That's what we had. So these are all the things, very strong things you have to remember, because using these are what we are going to solve problems in the upcoming chapters, okay? Yes, kindly revise all these things well. Hope we catch in the next chapter as early as possible. See you there. Thank you so much.